Hey everybody, KC here. Happy Monday. So those of you who read Morning Newsbeat on a regular basis know that I've spent a lot of time over the last few weeks writing about Starbucks and Howard Schultz. And quite frankly, I've just been fascinated by the degree to which somebody who at one point was considered one of the more visionary business leaders in the country could go so far down the ego rabbit hole that he seems completely obsessed with his own legacy and far less obsessed with that of his company. Now, I know he thinks they're interchangeable, but they're really not. And I've just been fascinated by that. To a somewhat lesser degree, I've been sort of interested in the idea that he is, he went off to Italy and by, just experimenting with the idea of putting a little bit of olive oil in his coffee each morning, he's come up with the most transformative thing to happen to coffee since, I don't know, milk and sugar. Half and half. I don't know how he'd even put it on the scale. But I'm sort of interested by that to some degree. So I thought I'd actually try it. So I have here a cup of coffee and a little thing of about a teaspoon of olive oil. And I wanted to test it out. Now, to be clear, this is not Starbucks coffee. This is my preferred coffee. It's from City Girl Coffee in Minnesota. Terrific company. I love their coffee. I'm on a subscription. Great company. This is not some hoity-toity, really high-end olive oil from Italy, which is, I think, what they're going to be using at Starbucks as they start to roll Oleato out. This is actually California Olive Ranch olive oil, but which I use a lot around the house. And so, but I'm going to test it because I'm just curious. I'm going to sound like a magician here. I have not tried this before. This is my first time. So I'm going to have my reaction the same way. You're going to see it in real time. Now, to be clear, I drink my coffee black generally. I mean, I might have a latte if I go to Starbucks or something like that, but generally at home, I drink my coffee black. So I'm going to pour in a little bit of olive oil and creates little fat bubbles on the top, which I have to admit, just looking at it this way is not entirely appealing. But I'm going to stir it around a little bit. Now, I want to see how it tastes. So, let's see. Still don't love the way it looks on top. You know something? That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Do I think I would do it every morning? I don't know. I mean, maybe not every morning, but that is not an unpleasant cup of coffee. And I have approached this so much less scientifically than Starbucks is doing it and Howard Schultz is doing it. I have a friend of mine. Now this makes me want to try something else. I have a friend of mine who likes to put a little bit of butter in his coffee each morning. He says, that's amazing. That may be the next thing I try here. But this said, one of the things that occurs to me as I try this is in some ways Howard Schultz and Starbucks, they've handed a gift to every coffee shop in the country and every retailer in the company that sells coffee and olive oil. See, there's a real opportunity here because it's going to take time for Starbucks to roll these drinks out all over the country. And they're going to start abroad. They're going to start in a few specialty markets here in the United States, the big urban markets. But if you're a coffee retailer or you're a retailer that sells both coffee and olive oil, this is an opportunity to get in front of Starbucks. They've handed you an idea. You could do taste tests in your stores. You could set something up in your coffee section in your store where you've got some olive oil and you've got some coffee and you just try different kind of permutations. You could create real interest among your customers by trying this out. They don't even have to wait for Starbucks. You could run contests. Try your own. Some people try butter. Some people try olive oil. What's the weirdest thing you put in your coffee? You could develop a contest around that. If you're a coffee shop, invest in some olive oil. Run contests among your customers. Try things. Take testing. Lots of sampling. In a lot of ways, Starbucks and Schultz have given you a gift, which is this thing that you're off to the races. You can try lots of different things. You can give your businesses energy. You can create excitement among your consumers. You can get them involved, feel them invested in the process, get your employees invested in the process, and just have a lot of fun. This was like as unscientific as it can be. It was a teaspoon of olive oil in a cup of black coffee, right? Try lots of stuff. When there's an opportunity to create energy and create interest around a category or a product, okay, you got to take advantage of it. And when somebody like Schultz, who's gonna give you all sorts of propulsion to the idea, because they're gonna market it, but they're gonna roll it out their way, you can do it your way. And you know something? I think if you create energy, I think if you create interest, you can actually create sales in both coffee and olive oil, and maybe even create profits and create a greater sense of loyalty with your customers. It's just an idea, but you know something? This isn't bad, and I'll bet you with a little bit of work, I can make it taste even better. Anyway, that's what's on my mind this morning, and as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.